Hi there, I'm Taylor Hunter. If you've watched any of my previous videos about what happened to my original YouTube channel, you might be wondering, you started rebuilding this channel in 2024, like in the summer of. Why have you waited this long to upload new videos? Well, there's a couple of reasons. I've moved 3 times, I met the love of my life, I married the love of my life. That's kind of a few things. And that's not everything. That's just like the overview. I also published my second book in 2023, I think. I should probably know that off the top of my head. So that's why I haven't done any videos until now. It's not the only reason though. Okay? Cuz 2024 started rebuilding the channel. All that other stuff was happening. But truth be told, I was kind of afraid of getting in front of the camera again. I've done that since the start of the year, because we started filming Quills of Kin, the podcast, in January. So I've been in front of a camera before, but not solo. And it's actually taken quite a bit of work to get to a place where I was ready to be in front of a camera. A huge part of that, honestly, was just motivation. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Because the absolute last place that I expected to get motivation from to get back to my stories, like my third book, finish writing it, finish the audio versions of my short stories, to write more short stories, to get in front of the camera, that all came from the absolute last place that I expected. And the person I have to thank for that is someone I didn't know existed until January. And he's apparently very famous to a whole lot of people. I was not one of them yet. I kept seeing this one thumbnail in particular, and I think it showed up in December. And I saw it, I was like, huh, that's interesting. Wonder what that is. Scrolled past it. Another week goes by, I see it again. What is this? Scroll past it. Finally, late January, I finally watch it. And then I watch the movie trailer on his channel. And then I watch some of his other videos about that project. And then in the middle of March was when one of those moves was happening. So it was absolute chaos, but the movie was out. I wanted to thank my husband for his hard work by taking him to go see a movie. So we went and saw Iron Lung. It is a movie made by Markiplier. That's what he's known by. That's what the film is actually listed as. It's not the first film he's done, but it's the first feature film with a theatrical release. The movie was fantastic. Despite being a horror film, which I do not do normally, I enjoyed it a lot. And honestly, I think a huge component of that came from knowing that he made this film completely outside normal Hollywood channels. He's an indie director. The film is based off of an indie video game that you can finish in under an hour. And the concept is terrifying. It's the stars, one day the stars vanish, the planets vanish, all that's left are a few space stations with humanity trying to scrape by on them. And in the midst of their survival, a couple of moons appear, but the only thing that they can seem to find on these moons is literally an ocean of blood. Completely nasty. Completely, like, out there. Like, that is the kind of thing I normally would instantly just walk away from because I don't want it. I don't like horror movies because so much of the genre is dominated by slashers and just, body horror and all kinds of stuff that would haunt my nightmares. Don't want to see it. But this was different. Because he found a story that he was so passionate about telling that he funded it himself. He figured out how to do it outside of the normal workflow. He treated his cast and crew nicely. He paid them well. He was the star of the show, and yet the editing is like he edited somebody else's film. He became the character. And I know some people, I've seen reviews where some people were like, yeah, it took me a minute to really get into the film because I was looking at the actor, Markiplier, and all I could see was Markiplier from his YouTube channel. Like, that was all I could see. So I guess maybe we had a little bit of an advantage because at that point I really I hadn't seen hardly anything. I did not know Markiplier. I did not know, I didn't have this long history like all of his fans did of watching him play horror games and, screaming at jump scares and yelling at the creatures and, being the redonkulous person that he is. The movie, that was something else. And knowing that he figured out how to do it outside the normal channels, that stuck with me. And I've been thinking about Iron Lung almost nonstop since watching it. And for a while I was trying to figure out why, because it was more than just how the story unfolds and the concepts and where it goes. And I intend to, talk about the movie more fully, maybe as like a review video or something. So I'm not going to go into spoilers here. I hate spoilers, just in general. I will always flag in my videos when I'm about to tell you spoilers because I can't be the only one that hates getting a movie spoiled. But I realized the reason I couldn't stop thinking about Iron Lung is because if it isn't one of the greatest parallels to being a self-published author, I don't know what is. I mean, honestly, in the movie, the character's quest is to be sealed up inside of a metal tube, submerge in the blood ocean to go exploring, and maybe at the end, he gets out. All he has to navigate by is a camera on the front. The port shield or whatever is closed. He cannot see out. He is navigating blind. And that's pretty much what it's been like trying to make it even a little bit as a self-published author. Because when I started, there was not a lot of resources available for self-published authors. It was like, you have to go through traditional methods. And they might make you change the story. They might give it a cover that you hate. And you still are responsible for the marketing. When I was a kid and I was writing Neverseen, when I was writing Neverseen in high school, I had this dream. I had this dream of like being an author because in my mind it was just like, it was a straight shot of you write a good story, people will notice, you'll be famous, you'll make all the sales, you can have that be your day job. That's how you do it. And it's been nothing like that. Because I write stories because I want to tell them to myself, and then I want to share them with other people, and I want them to be meaningful, and that's what it means to be a writer. But to be an author, it means that writing is 10% of your work. The other 90% is marketing. That means learning all like social media platforms that are not intuitive. It means learning how and where you can publish your books, at what price you should publish them, in what forms. You learn exactly how much effort it takes to actually make an audio version of your published book, because if you want to hire somebody to do that is not a small cost. And if you choose to do it yourself, that like there's an advantage there. There seems to be a trend of like readers liking when the authors do their own audiobooks, because you're going to know how to pronounce the names. You're going to know the exact tone and like pacing that you intended because you wrote it. But then it costs you in time. I worked on recording my first book in audio form last year, and it took about 10 hours. And that's just the raw recording. I still have to go through and edit it and get it to a point that it's ready to be listened to. Algorithms, all that stuff, you're always playing catch up. And there's all kinds of gurus out there, and some of them say you must do A, some of them say you must do B, absolutely not A, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. It's like finding the bag full of manuals in the iron lung. The information is sparse and outdated, and you're just doing the best to try to catch up and get somewhere. And the getting somewhere, that's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. Never Seen is the first book of my series, The Phelan Legends. There will be 7 installments in total. The first 2 are published, 3 is almost done, and the other 4 are in progress, simultaneously. I'd hope to be done by now. I actually had this vision that, like, I'd have all 7 books published by now. But that was before college. And then I had to get through college. I worked on book 2 in college. I worked on book 3 right after college. I've worked on the rest of them in the years following. But you're flying in the dark. You're trying to hold things together with shoelace and duct tape and wishful thoughts. Trying to figure out what's it gonna take to get noticed. And that's hard. That's a lot harder than I ever thought it would be. So then what changed? Because this is a video. I'm recording this video. Solo. And I'm working on book 3 again. And I'm working on a new short story. So what happened? Well, I saw Iron Lung. And I saw the amount of care that Markiplier poured into this story that he saw so much in. And that reminded me how that feels when you're working on a story that you know nobody else can tell. It's on you. You have to do it. You want to do it, and you will do what it takes. No matter how many late nights or sore muscles, just whatever it takes, you'll find a way to get it done. And I haven't felt that in a long time. I actually printed this out, and I have it next to my desk now, because I want to remember when things get hard again, which you've been sensing Iron Lung, they already had some ups and downs just in the past weeks. But it is for that reason that I want to remember this. Now, it's a bit of a simplification, I think he would say, if I asked his opinion. But it is accurate. Because when he needed more render power for the simulation of the blood around the submersible, and he looked at what it would cost, he figured out it would be cheaper and faster to literally build his own server farm. So he found a bunch of computers on eBay. He patched this thing together and built it in one of his bathrooms just to make it work. So, if Markiplier can render Iron Lung in his bathroom with a hand-built server farm, then yeah, I think I can find a way to finish my third book and write a short story and start posting videos consistently. So, thank you, Markiplier. Thank you for making Iron Lung. Thank you for lighting that fire in me again. Because I have been very intimidated getting back to my own series because of how long it's taken to get here, which is not nearly where I wanted it to be. But now, yeah. I'm thinking I'm back. So, thank you for watching. God bless. And I hope you have an excellent day. Bye-bye.